Hello, thank you for clicking on this video. I'm going to show you today quickly how I start embellishing some of my pages, as I have done in this journal, which I posted a couple of videos back, and you can check that out if you would like to. So I've added the pages in. I'll give you a quick flip through of all the pages that I've included. Obviously these aren't close-ups, so it's not really going to show you in depth as to what's in here. There are a few pages that are personal to me. That page with the blue stitching on is personal to me, which is obviously why it's in my journal. And I have a blue hanky as well a bit later on that I've turned into a pocket because I've loved it forever. I've had it for ages. I haven't wanted to use it anywhere. I thought it was just fitting to put it into my personal journal. I've got a couple of digitals here, and I just showed you that watercolour sort of texture on the back of that one. So I don't like to leave my digitals just plain on the back side. Just because I think that's really boring. So I've got a lot of original pieces in here, so a bit of ledger. There are some tea dye pages. I Franken page this. I think that's, I don't know if that's a trademark by Nick the Booksmith, but I'm pretty sure that's where I got it from. So I've added onto that page essentially so I can use that as a full page later on when I come to journaling. I've got a lot of recipe, sort of cookbook pages in this one for some reason. And just to show you here as well, this doily, this is one of my doilies. I was talking throughout this because I'd originally planned to just post a flip through of the pages, and I was chatting away while I was doing it, and then it turned out that'd be a really boring video, I think, just watching me flip through pages. So the idea of showing you that doily was to kind of say that where the pages have got a lot of writing and things on, it's to not be intimidated by that, because things like those doily printables then turn that otherwise used space into an actual journaling place. So it makes it versatile. That's what I'm trying to get at. So I like to have a lot going on in my books. I like to have a lot of words, a lot of patterns, pictures, textures. And I like to layer it up as I'm going along, so I'm not afraid to then stick things on top or cover things up where necessary to use that spread for whatever I need to use it for at that time. So this little pocket here is just an embossed piece of card with an embossing folder that I have, and I'm just going to glue around the three sides and create a really simple pocket. And of course, I mean, I'm doing these things just to kind of show you that these are kind of things that I would do to my journals. Normally, I would leave this kind of thing out and I would add as I'm going along, because I don't know when I get to using that page if I'm going to need a pocket there. But when I'm creating a journal for somebody else, obviously I'll add pockets and things in where I just think they fit. Whereas for myself, I generally don't like to do a lot of that prior to actually using the journal, just because that allows me the creative freedom I need when I'm actually journaling. This is a little pocket page, and I've just pulled out a stamp. This is an old to new stamp. I've had this for years, and it's just like a little leafy design. It's actually a layered stamp, so I think it's like the second layer, so it's not even like a full leaf. It's just really, really nice. Just has a nice little touch, and it's not stamped perfectly, you can see, but I think that all adds to this. You can add in things like gesso, just add a little whitewash of gesso just on a few of the pages just to white them out. And again, gesso is a good way of covering up text as well. If you want to write into like straight onto the page, just give it a whitewash and you're good to go to write on it, kind of like you would do in an art journal, which I think junk journaling and art journaling are kind of an extension of one another, because the art is in creating the journal itself here, and then obviously using it. So I'm adding a little bit of collaging here, so there's no other purpose other than looking pretty. It's the long and short of it. So I've added a little bit of collaging. I'm adding some fabric pockets, lace pockets I should say, because I really like the way these look. I really enjoy these. I'm adding these in now. Obviously I'm gluing it here, but I will machine stitch this in later to add that sewn in element. Obviously any pocket you don't have to machine stitch it in. I'm just fortunate to be able to do that, so I will do that. But a lot of the things that I add into my journal that I add in later, I'll either faux stitch, so I will stitch it on the machine and then glue it in so it looks sewn in, or I would just simply glue it, because that's realistic when you're actually using it on the go and not taking the time to create it. You just want to get what you want to get in the journal done. Some of the things as well that I use my journals for, I mean, I've got loads of different journals for different reasons, and obviously I shared junk journaling with you, but that is one a small part of what it is I do in terms of journaling. Now I've journaled since I was 12 years old. I've kept a diary, and I have all of my diaries, which is quite interesting to look at every so often, especially when I was like 12, 13, 14, and really just a fickle teenager. But yeah, I've journaled since I was about 12 years old, 1998, so you can work that out if you want. And I just enjoy it it helps with mindfulness, and it helps with we Brits are not big on therapy, so it's a common misconception that we're not big on therapy. I think a lot more people have therapy than the world gives us credit for, but I personally use my journal as my therapist, and I offload into it what I need to offload into it. But that's a different book, whereas this journal is something that I will just do things that make me happy. So I might put in like a nice song quote, song lyrics, or a nice quote, or just something that's happened that day, or something funny one of the kids has said, or just something pretty. I might have come across something in a magazine and I just like it, and I will just stick it in. So that's where the art journaling aspect comes into play for me. When it comes to my junk journal, I genuinely really just enjoy the process of making journals, so it's all good fun. And obviously the art journal aspect is when I actually come to using the journal. So as I'm doing this, as I'm going along, I'm constantly closing the book up, closing the pages up, having a look at where all the sort of like bits, the elements that stick out of the journal. I have a look at them, decide if I need a ruffle here or a tab there, and I can really kind of create it into something that I'm happy with from all angles. And pieces like this, you can see here that I'm gluing it down, but I'm just gluing it at the top and the side, so I'm actually leaving it free to tuck something underneath. I might not want to tuck something underneath, but I like to leave myself the option, especially if I'm prepping like this beforehand. So you see here again, I'm just having a look at it from the side. I'm going to start pulling out those lacy bits because the glue should have set by now nice enough, or solid enough that I can actually do the sewing. So of course your reason for journaling is unique to you, but there are loads of different ways to use these books when you have them, and I have people asking me what I actually use them for, because a lot of the process, a lot of the enjoyment comes from actually making the journals and putting everything together. And it took me quite some time to learn or to figure out that actually using the journal can be just as fulfilling as actually creating one. And I learned that primarily last year over the summer, when I was doing a lot in my journal, and it really helped me actually throughout 2020 to have my sort of little journal. And I journal, as I said, about things that just make me happy, things that are nice. So it's almost like force myself to find something nice that's happened, or to look at, kind of be a bit more glass half full kind of like mindset. So I like having my journal around, even if it's just for that. And I don't write all my thoughts and feelings in one of these because I'm not going to go into all this effort to create something really pretty and then just scribble whatever's in my head down onto a page, because that would defeat the point, wouldn't it? I want it to be something that I can show off as well. So when people come round, I show it to them, because there's nothing in here that's necessarily private. So I saved that for a different book. I started dream journaling as well recently. That might be something nice to do in a junk journal. I might do one of those a bit further down the line, write some dreams and things in. I like to create illustrations from dreams. I did one of those in my journal last year. I'm not sure if I did a journal with me on that spread. You definitely would have seen it in the flip through. But I had a dream about typewriters, and like the repetition of the number 3 was quite prominent. So I looked up the sort of angel meaning for the number 3, and I wrote a little spiel about that, and I created a typewriter with the page coming out with the 333 on it and loads of flowers, and I just kind of created, it was like a visual representation of that dream, and I think actually that might be a fun little twist to add into junk journals when it's appropriate. Obviously you can't do that for every dream. So just throwing ideas out there to help anyone who's perhaps struggling for journaling inspiration. So here's a quick look at some of the other embellishments I've added into my journal. I hope you enjoyed this video and it gave you a little bit of inspiration, a few ideas for your own journal. And I hope you stay tuned for the next one, because I will be binding it. I will do the signatures, and if it's a short enough video, I might even do my first journal with me in that video, just because I'm really excited to just get on with using this now. So anyway, I hope to see you in the next one. Thank you for watching. Take care. Bye for now.